I think there's stages in life. Like, I mean, I am coming out of a stage of that in my life where, like, for the past many years, I would work all day long. I'd go to sleep. I'd work all day the next day, and like, I just neglected my life to that point, like I didn't even have a fulfilling life because I just was only productive, like being productive all the time isn't fulfilling. And I think you kind of have to learn that the hard way, unfortunately, sometimes, of burning out or putting yourself in a situation where it like harms you to some extent, for you to realize like, oh, I was missing out on friends and family. I was missing out on like just sitting on my porch and enjoying the nice weather outside. I was missing out on taking walks, so you could scream that in people's faces as much as you want, but I think a lot of times the like hustle work culture, like you have to reach the rock bottom for it to like actually matter to some people. At least for me, that's what happened to me, is like I had to reach like a pretty painful rock bottom for me to be like, oh, okay, well, yep, that was fun while it lasted, but like that's not reality for the rest of my life, like working that much. So and I work more efficient and better now because of it, because I took the rest. Mm-hmm. And when you have that rest, like you're right, I can be way more focused now, and it puts things into perspective. So yeah,
thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's interesting how like for a lot of people in the pandemic, it was like actually not working all of a sudden caused so much stress for people because they wrapped their identity so much in being busy and that working thing. And I've already mentioned this like twice on the podcast, but there's an amazing interview with Victor Wooten and from Corey Wong's podcast, where he just talks about how like musicians, it was really hard for them in the pandemic because they lost their identity because they couldn't play, they couldn't work, and it's like, you're already here. You were already born. You're lucky. Like you made it to this earth. Like you just exist. That's a blessing. And it's not just about feeling busy or, wrapping up our identity and that feeling of busyness or the work that we identify with or whatever. It's just really important to kind of step back and just realize that you are already, you're already there,
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for sharing all that and for sharing all your wisdom on this podcast episode.
Absolutely.
And I'm not even going to ask you the final question because I'm just assuming you already answered it.
The patience.
Which is a first. Yeah. The patience. Unless you have more to add to that.
I don't think so. If I were to tell my younger self something, nah, just patience, which thinking back, funny enough, I almost want to listen to the first podcast because I feel like it's probably what I told myself back then too, which is kind of just my consistent mantra of just patience. And even looking back 2 years ago, it's like the things I wanted back then, I wasn't ready for. I needed the patience to be ready for it, takes time. It's patience, but you'll get there. Just don't give up. That's my encouragement to anybody listening, I guess, is just keep pushing.
I'm with you 100%. Totally. Well, Josh, thank you so much. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
I'll put links to your stuff in the show notes and stuff.
Cool.
So, have a great one, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, man. You too.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Secret Sonics. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you've been digging the show, it would be awesome if you could share this episode or your favorite episode with a friend or two, and or leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher of choice. That's it for now. Have a great week. Take care and dig in. See you soon. Bye-bye.